My wife said she was sorely tempted to cheat on me with a guy at work, and I told her I'm sorely tempted to throw away everything we've ever built together. 3 years ago, my wife and I bought a house. It was more than we could afford, but she fell in love with it, and I said yes because that's what you do when you love someone. 4 bedrooms, a backyard, good school district, the whole picture. Problem was the mortgage needed 2 incomes to breathe, and right around closing, my wife found out she was pregnant, so she stopped working. That was the plan. I'd carry us until the baby was older, she'd come back eventually, and we'd figure it out like every other couple does. I'm in construction. I lift steel for a living. My back sounds like a bowl of cereal when I get out of bed in the morning, but I picked up every hour of overtime they'd give me, 6 days a week, sometimes 12 hours a day. I stopped golfing, stopped seeing my friends on weekends, stopped doing anything that didn't involve working or sleeping, because if I wasn't doing one of those 2 things, I was costing us time I didn't have. My wife was home with our son. I know that's hard. I watched my mom do it. I don't romanticize it, but when I'd come home at 7 or 8 at night, dinner half-eaten on the stove, she'd want to talk, and I had nothing left. I'd shower, check on the baby, and fall asleep on the couch with my boots still on. She'd complain that I wasn't present, that I never helped enough, that she felt like a single mom. I didn't fight her on it. I understood it. I just couldn't fix it, and also keep the lights on at the same time. Eventually, our son got older, and 2 months ago, my wife decided she wanted to go back to work. I was relieved. We hired a college kid down the street to babysit 5 hours a day. My wife got a cashier job. Nothing glamorous, but the extra income meant I could finally pull back on overtime. For the first time in 3 years, I was coming home before dark. We started eating dinner together again. Our son fell asleep between us on the couch. It felt like something was coming back that we'd lost. I thought we were turning a corner. Then, 6 weeks into her new job, my wife sat me down on a Tuesday night. I could tell by her face it wasn't a good conversation. She had that look she gets when she's been rehearsing something in her head all day. She said there was a guy at work. She described him the way you'd describe someone you've already thought about more than you should. Funny, easy to talk to, handsome. Said he knew she was married and asked her out anyway. She said no, but then she said the part that stopped my heart. She was sorely tempted to say yes. I didn't move. I didn't raise my voice. I just sat there and let it land. Because here's what broke something in me. It wasn't rage. It wasn't jealousy. It was the math. I've known my wife for 11 years. 11 years, and I've never once looked at another woman and entertained the thought. Not because I'm a saint, because I was too tired, too committed, and too focused on keeping our family above water to let my mind go there. I gave everything I had to this life we built together. She gave a stranger 6 weeks. I looked at her and said it quietly. You were sorely tempted after 6 weeks. I've given this marriage 11 years, and I want credit for none of it, but I want you to understand what that means before you tell me you were tempted by some guy you met at a cash register. She started crying, said she was lonely, said I was never there, said he made her feel seen in a way she hadn't felt in years. I didn't argue. I pulled out my phone, opened the bank app, showed her the direct deposits, showed her the overtime line items going back 36 months, showed her what scene looks like when nobody's watching, when it's just a man clocking in before sunrise because the alternative is losing the house she wanted. Then I told her, I'm sorely tempted too, not to cheat, but to stop running this hard for a finish line that keeps moving, to stop sacrificing my health and my sleep and every friendship I had before this mortgage, before all of it, for a life that apparently doesn't feel like enough to the one person I built it for. She went quiet. I asked her to be honest with me, not about the guy. I believed her that nothing happened, but honest about us, about whether she still wanted this, because I could keep going if the answer was yes. I'd done it for 3 years already, and I'd do it for 30 more, but I needed to know I wasn't doing it alone. She looked at me across that kitchen table and didn't say a word. I got up, grabbed my keys, and sat in my truck in the driveway. Didn't drive anywhere. Just sat there in the dark with the windows down for 2 hours, listening to nothing. That's where I do my thinking now. Alone in a truck I paid for, parked in front of a house I'm still paying for, wondering if any of it still means what I thought it meant.